Welcome to Vivekananda Academy of Human Excellence, Chimangaon. Here in the class 4th, we have a first lesson, that is plants make food. In this lesson, what we have to learn, let's see. There are learning objectives, that is name the parts of a leaf, list the functions of leaves, describe photosynthesis, describe how plants use their food, name some unusual plants, know energy flow in living organisms, describe interdependence of plant and animals. See students, you find so many plants around in your school garden or in a nearby garden. Most of these plants have green leaves. Why is leaf green in color? Yes, think about that. You will find the answer. If you don't know the answer, the answer is here for you. A leaf looks green due to the presence of green pigments called chlorophyll. We know that plants are also living things. They make their own food, unlike us. The green leaves make food for the plants. Let's first learn about parts of the leaf. Which are the parts of the leaf? We have to learn here. Here is leaf for you. See, here is the stalk. This is a stalk. So, what is the function of stalk? Leaf stalk is attached to the stem with the help of stalk. It is attached to the stem. Okay, it's keep attached to the stem. It is called as petiole also. Okay, so we can say it is petiole also. So this is all about the stalk. Next part is the leaf blade. Which is the leaf blade? The flattened surface. This is the flattened surface now. This surface is called leaf blade, or we can say it is lamina. We can say it is a lamina. It helps the leaf to trap sunlight. As we know that plants make their own food, for that they need the sunlight, water, air. Okay, so for trapping the sunlight, they are using leaf blade or lamina. Now, next part is the main vein. What is the next part? It is a main vein. Where is the main vein? See here, this is the main vein of the leaf. Then, main vein or midrib, we can say midrib also. Main vein को ही क्या बोला जाता है? Midrib. Okay, midrib runs through the middle of a leaf. It is run through the middle of the leaf. It is called as main vein. And number 4 is the side veins. Here you can see some side veins are there. So these are the side veins. So number of side veins arises from the main vein. These veins help to transport water, minerals and prepared food to and from a leaf. Okay. So these are the parts of the leaf. Now, which are the functions of the leaves? Let's see. First function of the leaf is leaves make food for the plants, so they are called kitchen of or food factories of a plant. Number 2 is leaves help plants to breathe through stomata. And number 3 is leaves give shape and color to the plant. So keep in mind which functions are there. First function is make food. Next function breathe. And next one is that give the shape. Food, breathe and shape. Keep in mind, then you will elaborate this answer. Function of leaves. Once again I am repeating. Leaves make food for the plants. So they are called kitchen or food factories of a plant. Leaves help plant to breathe through stomata. Leaves give shape and color to the plant. So these are the functions of leaves. Now you will see here, these are the stomatas. Okay, so what are these stomatas? Let's see. The lower layer of a leaf has many tiny pores. The lower layer of leaf has many tiny pores. Those are called as stomata. These are the tiny pores. We cannot see these tiny pores by our open eyes. These are the microscopic tiny pores. These tiny pores are called stomatas. Okay, singular is the stoma. Singular we can say stoma and plural it is stomata. A leaf takes carbon dioxide and gives out the oxygen and excess water vapor through the stomata. From here leaves takes carbon dioxide and release out the oxygen. Carbon dioxide is taken by this stomata, means small opening, and release out the oxygen through it. Also they are releasing the excess water vapors. Okay, which are the excess water, that is they are throwing out from the body through the stomata. Okay, so these are the function of stomata. Once again I will repeat. The lower layer of a leaf has many tiny pores. These tiny pores are called stomata. Singular stoma. A leaf takes in carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen and excess water vapor through stomata. Now next point is the photosynthesis. What is the photosynthesis? Let's see. The process by which green leaves make food with the help of carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll is called photosynthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means putting together. So here is which is the procedure has done by the plant for making food is called as photosynthesis. If we elaborate this word, or we can say that photo means light or synthesis means putting together. We can see about the photosynthesis. Here you will see the plant. Here is the diagram of photosynthesis. Plants having the roots. Okay, these are the roots which are under the ground. These roots collecting water and mineral from the soil. It absorbs it and gives towards the stem. Then again this stem is carrying this water towards the raised part of the plant. Okay, then there are the leaves. Okay, plant having the leaves, and leaves are having chlorophyll. Due to the chlorophyll, plant having the green color or leaf having the green color. This chlorophyll, what is doing? They are absorbing light energy due to the chlorophyll. क्लोरोफिल क्या करता है, सनलाइट एब्सॉर्ब कर लेता है. नाउ वी नो दैट leaf having the stomata, and stomata they are taking the carbon dioxide. So now we'll see, roots gives water and minerals, then chlorophyll absorbs sunlight, and stomata gives carbon dioxide. These all things putting together and they are making the food. Okay, I think you have understood. How do leaves make their food? Let's see. Roots absorbs the water and minerals from the soil. Okay? Roots absorb water and minerals from the soil and send them to the leaves through stem. Next, process is going on. Leaves take in carbon dioxide through stomata and absorb sunlight with the help of chlorophyll. They use sunlight to put water and carbon dioxide together to make up food. This plant food is a kind of simple sugar called glucose. When food is prepared, it is taken by the veins and the stem to all parts of the plant. Oxygen is given out to the stomata. So this is all about that how do leaves make their food. Next thing, how do plants use their food? Plants use their prepared food or glucose in the following ways. First, they burn it into produce energy. We know that we are eating the food and food gives us energy. This energy we are using for growing, for playing, for doing the lot of activities. Same thing is happening with the plants. Plants they are burning the food to produce energy for the growth. Next, they use it for growth and repair of damaged cells and tissues. They are using the repair their cells and tissues for this energy or this food. They store extra food in the form of starch in their different parts like leaves, roots, fruits, stems, and flowers. We eat those parts where food is stored. Leaf example is there cabbage. Roots example is radish or carrot. Fruits example is apple and stems example is potato. Now we have to see some unusual plants here. Which are the some unusual plants? You have just learned that plants make their food in green leaves. But there are some plants that do not have a green leaves and some which do not have leaves. How do they make their food? Think. Okay, let's see some example. There is a first example that is cactus. We know that cactus is always we can found in the desert, means which places are hot and dry. In that places we can observe the cactus, it having the some adaptation in it. A cactus plant does not have the leaves, it has a spines and fleshy green stem. Okay, it has thick and fleshy green stem. It makes its food in its fleshy green stem by the process of photosynthesis. Now what we have learned? We have learned the photosynthesis process. In that, leaves making their own food with the help of water, air and sunlight. But here in this case, cactus does not have the leaves. Instead of leaves, they are having the spines. So here cactus having the stem which is having the chlorophyll. And we know that chlorophyll absorbs the sunlight. So cactus stem makes the food for it. Okay, so this is the unusual plant. Next, here is the croton. Okay, this croton plant you have observed in a school garden. Yes, the leaves of some plants like croton have a chlorophyll, but they appear dark red in color. This is because the red pigments present in them hides the green color of the chlorophyll. So, such leaves can also make food by the process of photosynthesis. Now, this is the croton plant, which is the unusual plant. Next example is dodder. This is the plant which is the parasitic plant. Okay, parasitic means they are depend for food on host plant. Dodder means amarbel is a parasitic plant. It is found hanging over other plants. It cannot make its own food and uses the food made by the host green plant. See, this is the different one. Means this is not usual, this is unusual. That is why we will say that dodder is the unusual plant. Or do you know that moles and mushrooms do not have chlorophyll? If you have observed these, then you can see there are no any chlorophyll. They cannot make their food. They get their food from dead and rotting plants and animals. Earlier, they were considered as plants. Now, they are put in separate category called fungi. Now, next we'll see energy flow in living organisms. See, we know that the sun is the main source of energy on the earth. Okay, sun is the main source of energy. Okay, so which energy has given by the sun? That is heat and light. Heat and light. Plants use sunlight along with water. Plants are using sunlight along with water and with the carbon dioxide to make food. So plants are taking sunlight, then water and carbon dioxide, and they are preparing their own food. Plants are eaten by the herbivorous. Yes, many herbivorous means many animals, they are eating the plants. So plants are eaten by the herbivorous like deer, cows and buffaloes. Okay. Then next, these herbivores are eaten as a food by the carnivorous. Yes. So this is the food. These small animals are food of the carnivorous. So carnivorous are like lions and tigers. This flow of energy in the form of food from one living organism to another living organism. Now you see sunlight is go into the plant prepare the food, plant has eaten by the herbivorous and herbivorous are eaten by the carnivorous. So this is called as energy flow, one from to another, one animal to another animal or one living organism to the another living organism. This is called as food chain. Let's see about the food chain. Food chain, I have told you definition. This is the flow of energy in the form of food from one living organism to another is called as food chain. A food chain starts from a producer, means it is always starts from a plant or producer. Producer means which are producing the food, those are called as producers. Now we see here one example, that is grass. Grass prepare its own food and this grass is eaten by the deer. Now we'll see that deer has eaten by the lion. So deer is a food of lion, grass is a food of deer. So this is called as food chain. You can see or you can observe there where many food chains are available. Okay. Now we'll see interdependence of plants and animals. Plants and animals depend on one another for their survival. Yes, plants give food to eat and oxygen to breathe to the animal. And animals breathe out carbon dioxide which is used by the plants to make food. This is how plants and animals depend on one another. You can observe here what is shown here, that is plants and animals have to survive. Yes, so for survival plants are giving the food and oxygen to the animals, and in the return animals are giving the plants to the plants, that is carbon dioxide. Means these both are, they depend on each other. Okay, I hope you understood this thing. Now we'll see the next point. There is a balance in nature. See student, a balance between a number of plants and animals is a very necessary in nature. What will happen if the number of animals increases suddenly? See this picture. If number of animals are increased suddenly, then what will happen? It will be difficult to the plants to supply enough oxygen and food. It will get difficult now that only plants are decreasing, means they are in that number only, and animals has increased. Then what will happen? Plants cannot be provide or cannot be supply enough food and oxygen to the animals. Similarly, if plants are increased in the number, then what will happen? Yes, there will also same thing will happen. Animals may not be able to supply enough carbon dioxide to the plants for the process of photosynthesis. If carbon dioxide will not get to the plant, then they will not do their photosynthesis and they cannot be survive. Okay, so that what will happen if the number of either plants and animals decreases suddenly, it will disturb the complete balance of the nature. So here is the picture of balancing nature. They need to have in the proper amount, they need to have in the proper count. If it will be get decrease or increase, it will affect on each other. So this is why we can say to maintain this balance we need to protect both plants and animals. So here what we have learned in this lesson student, we have learned parts of the leaf, that is stalk, leaf blade, main vein and side veins are the parts of the leaf. Next point what we have learned, that is leaves are the kitchen or food factories of a plant. Third, plants take in carbon dioxide and gives out the oxygen and water vapor through stomata. Plants prepare food in the form of simple sugar called as glucose by photosynthesis. Energy flow in living organisms through food chain. Animals and plants are depend on one another for their survival. So here our lesson is over. Hope you understand all the things. Bye bye student. Take care.